Been there, done that.
He wasn't sure.
And you know what? See, that's like, yeah, I had lunch too, I put some, like I buy a whole.
They're not ordered.
That's just one of those things.
But they're in the pile.
And I didn't.
Yeah. Like me, and put every baby, you know, in a tote and
I have 4 sons.
on some I have 2 or 3.
Everybody thought they were gonna, those aren't bad, my buddy sold a whole, like 200 of them, got them in for
Or is that?
Well,
They just sold it a whole
McDonald's, yeah. Oh, we fed all the kids in Lawton one day getting beanie babies.
Yeah, it was just fun.
About that.
It was.
$12.50.
Wow.
And what is it? Well, it
That was
wasn't
on
there
the
when I
that was on
got
the
there.
main floor. Oh, no, they brought it up because we bought the other cabinet that was in there.
Well, I saw that it said sold. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to any more sales because you'll always be in there.
Sound
I
really
go,
good.
I really go. If you're not right there, then you sell.
We had the Madonna right after Christmas. Another sharpness attack.
Thank you, I try to.
Yeah.
You like him or something, Justin?
Yeah, that's all.
Hey, Matt. Yes. Could you make sure Justin gets Turner's number, and, yes, please.
You know, the women will shake your hand too.
They do, yes.
Yeah.
He really
I like to give hugs to women.
Yeah, to say he
It's a good thing.
Yeah, how are you, man?
You're here to give out stuff, are you? You got the cheap seats in the back.
I need a nap. What's that?
Whatever you do here, it's a good thing.
They hit it.
We're doing pretty good. We've had 31, we've lost 4 unfortunately. It's just this cold, wet, rainy weather is not
My buddy and my son are going Friday to get that stove.
Well, I usually, the weather is the main thing, like when they're born, and then they lay on the ground, and they're cold, and then it's just really hard to have so much energy. So if the mom has them out in the mud, it's really hard to get them back. So we do have a barn to cabin in, but we only have so much space. So we gotta pick which one.
Checked it off the list.
Yeah, we are not. Well, it's funny, people ask me all the time, like, what's your budget? Like, what's a budget? It's a different. My budget is, when things are well, you are right, when they don't, you work on a farm.
Play-Doh, crayons.
And the biggest thing I've learned is the best money you can make is when you overspend it. You gotta spend a certain amount, overdo it. All it is nice. Doesn't really do any good if you have nothing to do with it. Yeah, when you quit paying those things, they don't come back. It's part of the growing process. I think everyone should be tough this year, last year. I mean, you heard that.
And I said, I don't think we'll be over that.
And a lot of buyouts and everything else happening.
7 o'clock, all in order.
I'll get it turned.
Roll call.
Strong. Oh, yeah, I thought you said something else, sorry.
Crawford,
Here.
Rankin, Fisher, Dickerson,
Yes.
Emerson.
Here.
Gales.
This is going to be one fun meeting. Yes. Alright, public comments.
Yeah, my name is Curtis Dickerson. I'm here speaking on behalf of Neighbors for Public Oversight. We're a volunteer initiative focused on improving transparency and accountability in our local government. At the end of last month, we announced that we were going to be doing a citizens audit of the village of Bloomingdale. We just want to talk a little bit about that. And it's not something to be, like, we're not trying to point fingers, cast blame, nothing to be afraid of. But we do see that there are some inconsistencies just with records and operational stuff over the last 12 years, which is typical and standard when you guys are short-staffed and it's a lot of work that you're doing and things get missed. So what we want to do as this audit is instead be of support to the village, help you go into the records and figure out what's missing, what can be reconciled so that we have a better financial picture moving forward of some of these systems. The first thing that we've been doing, and we've been going into this for the last several months, is we're looking into the sewer finances going back to like 2012, specifically with, I think, bond payment. And we're kind of trying to just track where everything went, and there's just a lack of information that we'd love some clarification on to work with you guys and help you provide a better, clearer picture of the understanding of where we've been. And we've been reviewing the ordinances 25-100, 25-150, some of the annual audits, particularly the 2024 independent audit that was done in the sewer system, and the state filings with the S65 filings that all go to the state of Michigan. So I have a list of questions. I won't go into all of those right now, but I do want to just provide those to you guys in writing so that you can review them, and maybe we can set up time to discuss some of these, because it will help us in providing some direction and more information moving forward with this audit, so that we can provide a better, clearer picture for everybody involved. We want to help you guys make better informed decisions. We want to know more of what's going on. Yeah, I'll be submitting these for you guys, and we're definitely committed to respectful, transparent conversation, and we appreciate your time, service, and attention to these important matters.
Was there something wrong with the state audit? We get audited every year.
No, so the state audit, and they admit even within their audit that their audit is not totally infallible. What we're looking at specifically is like the depreciation statements, or the schedule of depreciation over the last 12 years. There's a number of years where depreciation isn't even accounted for, but it is on other years. And we're wondering, okay, was it just accounted for in different areas, or was it missed this year? But those are some of the different types of questions, because it creates an inconsistent picture of what the financial health is of the public utility. So again, it's not like we're not trying to point fingers or cast blame, but we are just trying to pull out some of these things that we feel might be being overlooked. For instance, the ordinances specify that there should be a rate study done every year, but the only one that we can find on record was from 2017, which was part of the asset management capital improvement plan grant that you guys got with Lisa Vanderbeek. So we're just trying to review some of those things, look at the ordinances. Okay, are these being followed? Is the ordinance fund being segregated into the necessary accounts that it has to be segregated into based upon the ordinances, which is for our benefit? So we have money going into improvement plans, capital asset plans, maintenance plans, surplus plans, and then those are all restricted funds. So that's important information that we want to know as a public utility. So yeah, that's it, and we want to have you guys have all access to that information as well, so that you have more information to make better informed decisions. So, thank you. Yeah.
Curtis, could I ask you, when you say we,
Mhm.
who is we, your group?
Well, it started out as me, and since we've announced our interest in these things, kind of the mission of the promoting transparency and accountability in local governments, we have had a number of volunteers who've come and expressed support and willingness to help out, go through a lot of this information, that are both village and township residents.
You
So,
don't
but
have
we
a-
are also-
You don't have a number though, of how many people you have on your committee?
We don't really have a committee, it's kind of like an email chain. So, but it's less than a dozen at this point in time of people who are able to, volunteer additional hours and time. But we have, created a social media presence that we're growing of people who are following the process and I think that's over 50 people within the village and the township, so far, who've kind of expressed interest in following in the process.
So a lot of it has come from your social media rather than the meeting you had on that Saturday morning.
Oh, that too. We had a really great turnout from that, and actually from that, a number of people after that meeting expressed, interest in wanting to get involved in what we were doing and asked, how can we help? And that was one of the first things. It's like, there's a wealth of information that we wanna go through to be able to just provide a clear picture of what's going on for everybody's benefit. And we'd love, support in going through that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you accessing the information currently that you're basing your, report on?
So a lot of it is through, the State of Michigan website. They have a dashboard that you can get on and you can look at all of the annual financial statements that are submitted.
Right.
And then other, aspects of it are like the information that is publicly available, like the auditor's report from 2024. That was an independent audit report that's required for the bonds ordinance with the sewer
Correct.
system.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, March expenses. General fund, $13,805.52. Sewer fund, $13,377.74. Major streets, $10,290.61. Local streets, $7,269.12. Need approval of the consent agenda, March expenses, and regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion. I'll second it.
Any discussion? Not roll call?
Strong,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Rankin.
Yes.
Fisher. Dickerson.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Communication, Parks and Rec update.
Okay. Playground renovations are finished, down at the park, the swing set's all set. The campground will be open by the end of the week. Shady Brook has a Facebook page, if you wanna get on there. We did that because I'm trying to get a hold of all these sites that have us for free and they want a website that they can refer to, so I'm doing that. That's what I got. I'm told that we haven't received the $3,500 for Parks and Rec yet.
I'll have to look, it's in our bylaws when we have to give it to them, or we have to wait to give it to them by. I will look it up and get the information to you.
That's all I've got.
Anybody else? Committee reports, for me, everybody's got the new MML, those law books, please read these. Had a long discussion with MML, covering some of the stuff in here. This is way more accurate than you're gonna find on AI, this is current Michigan law, period.
Are we allowed to highlight it here?
I give everybody, that's your personal copy to do whatever you like with.
So what's the date on this one, you know? 2024. Yeah. Because it keeps changing, I just found out that you cannot do Zoom meetings anymore. It's all going back to public with meetings. And that just changed, I guess, so.
Any questions we have, I can call them, and we can get clarification. Second one's out for now, treasurer, hire accounting to merge QuickBooks accounts.
So we are trying to streamline QuickBooks. Right now, it's kind of a mess. We log in and out of seven different accounts. They're all separate. We have bank accounts for each of those. We have a general fund, a major streets, a local streets, we have a money market within the general fund. Sewer savings, a sewer checking, a money market within those. Bond and debt return, they're named different things in QuickBooks, there's a lot of them. They're not all syncing correctly. It's skewing some of the numbers, we've got some of it figured out, but we'd like to streamline as much as we can, and we want to also physically merge some of those accounts. My hope is that we can merge the general, major, and local street funds, they will be segregated with,
Some
yeah,
Still be
general
separate, but-
ledgers. Keep the sewer separate, and then keep the, I believe we call it the bond and interest redemption, it's the one that our USDA payment comes out of, keep that also a separate account. So hopefully we would have 3 and 2 money markets, and we also have a consumer's money market account.
Yeah,
So it's a lot right now.
we can do that easily, as long as we keep a ledger for sewer,
Right.
segregating.
So I did speak with Steve Breyer, who's one of our auditors. He has somebody within his office who's pretty proficient with QuickBooks that will be available after the tax season. And so they're gonna get back to me with availability. He said it shouldn't take more than a day, and their cost is about $150 to $250 an hour. So it should cost no more than $2,000. We're hoping for a lot less.
Clerk.
The Schuitmaker, invoice. It's $1,280, and it was on behalf of the village. I don't know if you want me to go over the details of the invoice. And since it's over $1,000, I need to know, motion passed on to pay.
I'll make that motion that we pay that invoice.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Do we get reimbursed for that?
If we win, get all of it back, yes.
Correction on that. If the case is considered to be frivolous, you would be reimbursed, but if it's not, you're not reimbursed. And since there has been an OMA violation pertaining to that case, it's not considered to be frivolous.
So we have an ordinance that said we can pass.
It's state law.
It's in our ordinance.
Our-
that we get reimbursed.
Our attorney's handling it, so.
I just wanted that to be,
Anyway, he said we're gonna get reimbursed. According to our attorney, we'll find out. We got a motion, we got support, any more discussion? Roll call.
Strong,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Rankin.
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
This next one was an estimate for Ortex sales, it was for a screw screen machine that basically used to take all the blueberries out of put them in a barrel, now it just gets all the wipes that go through and any trash that comes through.
Oh, that's.
Salesman happened to stop by and try to go through there, and now he wants to update all of the panels, and not that it needs it, but it would be just much more user-friendly if we spend $5,000. Talking to our current operator, there's nothing wrong with it, talking to our operations engineering firm, there is nothing wrong with it. He also offered to change the brushes for another $2,800 plus parts. That's screw machine. So it'd be about 4 times the amount of our, just buying the brushes and having our guys change them, which I think we
You're
have.
talking about the one up at,
Headworks.
Edwards, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's more modern things and it can be easier and it's checked daily. There's not a whole lot to do with it, other than empty the barrel when it gets half full.
So what's,
Basically, he wants us to spend between 5 and 10 grand so they can come spend 2 days here. It's like $1,300 for them to drive here from Columbus.
and what's the situation on the brush?
It's almost time to change the brushes again. It's been about a year. The top brush is bad, the bottom ones are fine. And I had Shane look at them.
And that's the ones that wrap around the,
Yep.
the other.
Yep, and I believe we have a new you sit down there, so. They just, salesman calls, and I don't know how he showed up down there and happened to catch Curtis down there, but they just want us to spend a lot of money with them.
Who's they?
The manufacturer, Vortex.
Vortex
Vortex.
sales, right.
Is this state mandated or does
No,
that have to do with
He just happened to be
No.
stopping in,
A salesman stopped.
wanted to look at it when Kurt was in there,
It's like being stopped by a cop looking for a problem?
pretty much.
Right.
Offering to update and make it more user friendly. There's 3 switches and alarm. There's not a lot
This
to
is
it.
a no,
It's a no.
it's a,
Shane is the one who replaced the last one with our sewer guy.
And they've been replaced since.
Been to it.
That was a while ago.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Dave, got on watch.
That's
Mr.
okay,
Stefano.
I've enjoyed, hearing process. You want me to slide in now?
Yes,
Be glad to.
please do.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have, provided you with, March highlights for the commissioners' activities. Nothing outstanding, but, we did receive or we're applying for congressionally directed spending application for a new 911 facility in the county. Currently, we're in the basement of the jail. And so this would allow the county to build a new structure that will actually, which needs to be basically weatherproof. Tornadoes, earthquakes, whatever, if you can build such a thing. Anyway, that wouldn't totally fund the project. We'd have to have still local funding, so we'll see how this $3 million turns out. And if we are successful, then we'll look at seeing how we can fund the rest of the project, which will be probably somewhere closer to $9 million, I think, is what we're talking. There were some bills that are going through the Michigan House now with regard to supporting the nuclear energy facility and streamlining the process for becoming online and being approved. When I heard streamlining, I got a little concerned because when we're talking nuclear energy, it's, prefer to have just lining rather than stream. But after talking to a couple of the sponsors for this legislation, it's geared toward the mini reactors, which are a new process and doesn't involve what is involved in bringing in a new plant that's been offline, or an old plant that's been offline, and all of those complications. So that's moving forward with, they're getting the support of our commission for that. I think I told you folks about Lawrence's plight with their contractor doing their broadband, backed out, decided not to do the project. Well, we have Midwest Energy and Communications that is applying for funding to take over that project. So hopefully they will, and we'll get Lawrence Township online here soon. We entered into a new contract for a year with Western Michigan University's medical school for medical examiner services. So we have used them for, I think, the past 2 or 3 years. I heard at the Gobles meeting that they weren't real happy with their response time to getting to sites to pronounce the death of an individual. So we're gonna look into that, because it's a $90,000 a year contract. And for your personal information, if you do wish to have an autopsy, it's $2,840. Or maybe your spouse might want to, or someone, if the death is suspicious and you want it looked into, that's what it'll cost. Okay, a couple other,
Wait a minute.
yeah.
If an autopsy is requested by the government, which means the sheriff's department, that cost then go to the family?
I don't believe so. It has to be requested by the family or individual for purposes other than law enforcement, to my understanding. So,
Here's what I can tell you about that. You can request an autopsy, but if one was done in the state, or one was refused to be done because they didn't think it was necessary, no other medical examiner in the state of Michigan will touch it, or Indiana. Because they will not go against each other.
sounds like personal experience.
Yes.
Okay. we did have the, Michigan Association of Counties Legislative Conference this last week. It was very, enlightening about what's going on in Lansing, or not going on in Lansing. One of them is having the roads, legislation completed. So there was a panel of 4 legislators up there, and 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and you can imagine, it only took the second question before a sparring match kind of took place about who was spending the money, who wasn't spending the money, whose fault it was, and so. But the bottom line is, there are several proposals that are getting geared up. They're thinking, some of the optimistic ones are thinking we're gonna have legislation passed by the end of June. Some others are, yeah, I laughed too. And then some of the others, were indicating September possibly, but it's gotten complicated with the electric vehicles because they aren't paying a gas tax. They are paying something, I believe, in their registration fee when they purchase an electric vehicle, but it doesn't cover, obviously the miles that they're putting on and not paying gas tax. They're talking about doing a mileage tax in place of the gas tax, so they would track individual mileage. Can you imagine that happening? I mean, good luck with that and getting honest, input about how many miles you go in a year. But, one of the biggest, issues brought to the conference was the, Axe My Tax legislation that's out there. Well, the legislation isn't out there, the petition's out there, the language of the petition has been approved. It is essentially to eliminate property taxes, in the state of Michigan, which would eliminate the funding for schools altogether. So, when the question was asked of the group who was putting this proposal together, how are you gonna fund what do you have in your bill to replace that? And the answer was nothing. And the schools are failing already, so let them figure it out with some other form of tax. So, it was interesting when we were at a meeting, with Farm Bureau, last week. Some of the farmers and the commissioners, the issue came up of tax my ass. Tax my tax. Is this recorded?
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay, but, Farm Bureau, opened the discussion. There was some interesting discussion about, some that were actually thought wasn't a bad idea. Farm Bureau hasn't taken an official, stance on it yet, but, they're going to soon, as I understand, so we'll see what their position is, but, it's interesting times, so we'll see how that develops, but, so that's pretty much, I think, what we had going on. Thank you, folks.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dave, we're sort of used to getting a handout to people sitting in the audience
We've got one.
of your report.
It's up there, Tom.
I'll bring a few more with me when I come.
Yeah, if you could, appreciate it.
Sure, I was part of the Paper Reduction Act, but I'll.
You're two-sided.
All right. All right, thank you for the time, folks.
Thank you.
I took them all off. I got this from
Grant Oversight.
Gail is not here, but she did message me and say the Kubota grant is sent in.
Budget?
We just got our first month's worth of numbers. I just got it for vacation yesterday. And I looked at them, and I had good, I do have a spreadsheet of them, that I'm going to plug them in every month, and we can see exactly where we're at, and modify if needed. I didn't get it done today, but
Parks?
David Park. I noticed on Facebook, someone is wanting to plan a potluck at the park. Do we need a permit for that?
No, I don't
You
think
can just go in there and use the pavilion, maybe the gazebo, so we don't need a permit.
No, they just sign it out. They call down here and get their name on the calendar with it, Tom, but they have to
So we
understand.
have a list over here we have to sign, or where
There, it's on the calendar, out in the hall.
for the park, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we do that, and then they have to understand though when they do that they are public part, so any other people can be.
I just noticed it on Facebook and
Yeah,
they
that's
were
what they have to
asking
do.
about
Yeah.
porta johns and stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
um,
There is a family that usually comes in the summer and has a family reunion, and they order an extra porta john to be brought down when they have it. And
So
when
are
she,
they on there?
not yet, I don't know, I haven't looked, I don't do any of that anymore. But that, they call, and I think usually Mel or whoever's in our office, if they answer the phone, will go out and put it on
Well,
the calendar.
I know they, you know, organized this room, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, the parks go on that one too, and we always make sure there's a phone number, a name and a phone number with it, so that we know who it is that's doing it.
Depot, okay, I gave Randall the permit app, plus the certified plans, I gotta give him 2 copies, he's gotta do his thing. And I had to text him where's our permit, and he asked for a email. I gave him your email, did you get a permit?
I have not gotten.
Email, alright, I'll get ahold of you. Otherwise, we have our certified plans, but he has to do a review of them, and I haven't seen that yet, so if he's okay with everything. I tried to ask him before, and it kinda blew me off because he didn't have a permit yet. We're going to have to start thinking about our bid process for the concrete work. Are we going to advertise that? Are we just going to
We can,
get a hold of contractors ourselves, say, hey, would you like to bid? What's our process on that? I'm not
we're
sure.
gonna have to put it out for bid, like, put it.
Can put something in the paper?
But we can, you can also call people too and say, hey, we're gonna be doing this, there's gonna be a bid, and we're taking bids, it's a public bid, to get it in.
I would like to probably sit down with you and make a work schedule of what we're looking at, because there's some things that the, engineer added that, you know, now we put a green plate all the way around, so who's gonna do that? Is that gonna be part of the bid? It doesn't matter. I will call Miss Dig for electrical and gas. Does anybody know who put the well in down there at the depot? Or
Probably before our time.
can I look up, can I find that at, health department? Would they have a well right
Yeah,
there?
should
Okay.
have.
We're gonna have to do a search, because it's our responsibility in this dig to find out where the sewer is. That's our deal. So if we have anything in your office, as you, we're gonna have to do a search and see if we can find out where that line comes out
I'm gonna ask Doug.
from the depot.
Doug,
I don't know if
I'm
it
sure
goes-
Doug would know where it comes out at.
Who would?
Doug
Doug
Burleson.
Okay, let's get a hold of Doug. I'm sure we tied into the system. Alright, okay. That's all I have for parks.
It is getting awful empty in the depot.
We've been
Oh.
working on it.
One other thing, we worked Sunday morning with the jail crew, or, excuse me, community service people. We moved 7 of those big cabinets out of there, 2 glass cabinets, that one went to Baja, the other one's on my trailer if somebody wants it, because Baja doesn't want it.
I thought
I'm
some
trying to give it
people,
away.
I thought some people said they wanted it
I
on
had a lot of
Facebook.
wants, but no takers,
Oh.
so,
Well, what if that belongs to the depot?
no, belongs to Baja, that was Pat's.
Oh,
The
okay.
great big one, that's actually not a display case, it's a bakery case.
Okay, no, the only reason I wondered is if they were ever gonna put anything back in there for a museum, why are you getting rid of it?
Well, we didn't get rid of them, we stored them down at Baja.
Yeah. No, that, but I meant when you
Yeah,
were
we
talking
just-
about that case, I thought.
Just trying to get them out of there, so it looks pretty empty, there's still a lot of stuff around the outside, what do you have, somebody coming? We've had a lot of people
James
come and getting
Camelhorn.
little things, so.
James Camelhorn's granddaughter, is going to donate the dress
I had Blythe, Pikes,
and,
Gaze,
yeah, okay, you picked up their stuff.
Queens, robe, Pam Harris has that with, a dress form, whatever. She's gonna have it dry cleaned and store it. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff, box stuff.
Are we gonna
Ready
run
to
a
go in
storage?
storage, if we find a storage somewhere.
Are we running a storage unit or?
I think we kinda have to.
Yeah, I would say so.
Find one.
Well, it better be stuff that won't get ate with mice and all that stuff, because I had a nephew that stored some furniture, and when he went back to get it, it was destroyed. So if this stuff is, that you don't want destroyed, then you better really watch where you put it.
Yeah, like those chairs. Those red chairs probably get.
We have a
eaten.
lot of wooden chairs in there, I don't, there's some of those, there's a bunch of chairs over at the museum, or actually, I think they're in the lumberyard, and there's a bunch of chairs that, oh, you're talking about the upholstered chair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That came from the Masonic Lodge, and then some of them came from the church.
Who's using the Masonic Lodge now?
I don't think anybody's,
Or why don't they let us store stuff?
I don't know.
That belongs,
Did
Tracy.
Hernandez has got it, yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do with that stuff? I mean, still have to get over the telephone company to have them move the, whatever,
Phone stuff.
yeah.
Phone
Yeah,
stuff,
we
that's
definitely
what
like to have
it
it back
is.
when we
Post
turn it
office.
When you were there, you had Larry Johnson get his two cabinets down.
What about the, post office stuff?
Post office, all post office stuff is in a box, and the boxes are there, I didn't sort them out.
We're just gonna.
Gail was gonna do that, she was preoccupied, I just put it in the box and sealed it.
More airtight
The window?
things.
yeah.
You just gotta. I know there's got.
We have to, all that kind of stuff, to move to the center and cover it, and then we can work on the outside walls.
Where did the big glass window go, Tom? What'd they do with that?
With what?
The big
Stained
stained glass
glass
window, is
I
that
don't know,
still
what do you
there?
wanna do with that, Tom?
You can leave it attached to the walls.
It was given to the,
I think it stays there
Museums.
forever.
The museum, yeah.
Yeah, it is a
I
museum
just wondered if
property.
you were moving it during
No,
the renovation,
it's
you're leaving
fastened
it
to the
right there,
walls,
okay.
huge, I don't wanna touch it.
yeah, it is, it's fastened solid.
Yeah,
If it gets taken down, you better have at least 10 people.
We can
It's
have.
big and heavy.
I don't
can
see
have-
why it needs to be taken down.
If there's stuff in there we wanna leave in there and pile it in the middle when they're jacking it up. We could've left all them cabinets in there, but they're on wheels, so for our own, I mean, if we have stuff in there, as long as we're not worried about it getting broke, we can leave some stuff in there when they're doing their work. Sewer.
I don't really have anything, it's the third week, we're still pumping, that's about it.
Probably be pumping another week, we're trying to pump the east pond down also. Wanna get them low as we can before, I think it's May 1st, when our limits, not how many gallons we can pump, cause we're still pumping the 200,000 gallons a day. But the amount of solids and stuff changed for the summertime, so we just wanna have the, pump both ponds down as far as we can get them. Streets.
We were gonna meet, we haven't, I'm waiting for our other member to be able to be with us to meet, but Kurt, our village man, is keeping, Rumry Street done up until, we know what we're gonna do with that too, so he's right on top of that.
When do you think I started in North Van here?
It's gonna be late, probably August, they haven't even bid-let it yet. The state is, really grinding it.
Right when it'll be a problem.
And that might be also the same time they're doing between Gobles and Bloomingdale on 388.
And might also be going off.
It needs it worse than this.
Oh, well, they'll have to find a.
No, but
workaround.
two different, but they're both state projects, so
Yeah,
that tells you,
Yep.
that one's not bid-let either, so. It's gonna happen. The worst part is there's gonna be a section down here where the school road comes down, there's all those different underground stormwater drains. They're gonna combine those, streamline it, so they're actually gonna have to dig up the road and, so you don't have 4 or 5 different manholes and everything, there's gonna be one. They're gonna do it right, so we don't have to worry about digging up a new road and fixing it in 5 years. Alright, ordinance.
Okay, I'd like to make a change to the anti-blight, the 20.251, to be, enforced of a civil infraction.
the first offense would be $100, the second offense was $250, and the third offense would be $500. This is to try to deter some of these people that are repeat offenders with the blight. We have to vote on that, don't we? Also a change to the manufacturer home, the 17.050. It's not on the agenda, but it was supposed to be. And we're also changing that to civil infractions to be the same. The 100, the 250, and the 500.
Question?
So if we're changing the ordinance, don't we have to republish the change?
Yeah.
Well, we have to republish a synopsis of the new ordinance, which the ordinance doesn't change, it's fines and procedures change. We have to publish a synopsis in the paper, 15 days from the day we start publishing, it becomes law. Or, correct, we don't have to wait 90.
Question on that, you're saying repeaters get certain amounts. Have you dictated the time limit between them?
Yes. The first one was, they would receive a letter. We wait 10 days. If no improvements made, then we send the police officer out. I think he gives them 10 days, and if that doesn't work, then they become a repeated offender and we start fining them.
Okay, what I was thinking, okay, is, excuse me, 25 to go out and give light thing, notice of that, and they took care of the problem.
Then they would be fined.
And then they come back 26, you got the same problem. Is that the first or the second?
Yeah.
So
Was
Yeah,
everybody think?
everybody will have 10, looks like everybody's gonna have 10 days, when they get a notice to get it fixed.
Yeah, but if
That
they,
doesn't mean move it.
well, yeah, but I'm saying, okay, it gets completely taken care of in 25. But now you got another renter in there in 26, same address.
It's a new one.
New tenant.
Okay, if it is not the new tenant, if it is the same tenant,
I'd say it's still a
It'll be a new one. If they have it all cleaned up, you're starting with a clean slate.
Is it the same tenant or is it the property?
It's the property owner.
That's
But I mean, if you're going to, if somebody cleans up and makes the attempt, and they get it all cleaned up, and there's a mess 6 months later, we're not gonna start ticketing them. They got it all cleaned up, they've done what they were asked. It'll just repeat the process. Hey, there's a letter, but you know, you gotta have it cleaned up. If not, you're gonna get a visit. We're not gonna hammer people with fines because they had it cleaned up for 6 months and all of a sudden they got a pile again. We have a motion to accept these two changes and get it published.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Not? Roll call.
Strong,
Oh, yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Rankin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Henson.
Before we move on, I have one question about the ordinances. Last month we passed the motion to update the ordinance 12.051 to remove hired employees and their rate of pay under office compensation. Are we still doing that? Okay, I just wanted to know about it. Okay,
We voted on that, right?
yeah, we voted to remove that part, so that.
We'll just make the changes and publish all of them,
Okay.
all three of them.
We wanted to go back to treasurer, we actually wanted to, have you guys vote on hiring the accountant up to a certain dollar amount.
We didn't wanna exceed 2,000, now mind you, that's just a simple 8-hour day, we already said it's not going to take a whole day. But we didn't wanna be sticker shocked when we saw it, but
So we have to vote on it?
Yes.
We're trying to get it done before our state audit, because our auditors did say that it would make the audit easier and quicker. They scheduled 3 days, they
And
scheduled.
maybe cheaper?
Hopefully, they would normally schedule 3 days for the village audit, so if they could get it done quicker, it should be cheaper.
Your motion?
I make a motion.
I second.
Further discussion?
what's the motion on it?
I'm done with what you
Up to
talked about.
$2,000 to hire somebody to merge the accounts and clean up QuickBooks to make it easier.
It was from the beginning.
So which one is this one?
Yeah, just check under the treasurer,
What one?
Which order?
We're back up.
under the treasurer.
We're back up here.
Right now, we're in the
The treasurer,
Oh,
yeah, we're back up there.
motion, support, no more discussion, roll call?
Strong,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Rankin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Dickerson,
yes.
Amson.
Yes.
Any old business? No, under new business.
Okay, number
Oh,
one.
wait, I got old business. Where are we at on the roof for the sewer?
We're gonna put it out for bid again.
You haven't put it out for bid again? Okay. I'm just wondering about that. Alright, new business.
Okay, under new business, I would like to make a motion for the president to have our permission to consult with legal counsel for up to 3 hours at a time, 3 hours worth of,
As needed.
as needed.
Nice, second.
Motion, support, we have further discussion.
Okay, what's our policy as far as a retainer? Are we hiring him by the hour?
Yeah,
Or
we don't pay
otherwise, are we giving him money to hold that he works to give?
No. We-
So what's
we
our
strictly-
policy?
we
Spend
strictly-
the hour, by the hour?
We
Yeah.
strictly are by the hour and we're half of his usual rate. All for municipals, he charges half of what he charges for everything else.
So by the phone, it's only $100 an hour then? Is that what you're saying?
No, if you go hire him, it's 400. If the village hires him, it's 200 an hour.
Okay. So are we going to put a cap on that?
She did
She
3
did
hours.
3 hours.
How much?
3 hours.
3 hours.
So is that, Tony, are you talking 3 hours per incident, or 3 hours a month, or 3 hours a week,
It's 3
or
hours.
just incident?
Yeah, per
Okay.
incident, yeah.
Anything more than that, he can bring it to vote.
Hmm?
Anything
Yeah.
more than that, he could bring it to vote.
Yeah.
Well, I was
But we
gonna
at least
say,
get
we
something.
voted a long time ago to let the president spend up to $3,000 without board approval, so, you know, I think it would fall under that too.
We need a vote.
Is discussion over?
Discussion.
Strong,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Rankin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yep.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Amson.
Yes.
All right, second new business, letter from Mr. Melvin Dickerson. He'd like, to mow the field back west of the sanitation sewer ponds. Again, he's been doing it for many years, keeps them up pretty nice for us. He hasn't paid anything yet. I don't know why we would pay him. He cleans the edges of the field, takes all the dead brush and trees out of the way so he doesn't mess with his mower. He makes it pretty nice back there. Moved 23 bales of rough hay at 1,000 pounds each last year. And they had to, as soon as he asked, made sure it was unlocked for the days he needed to get in there.
Yeah.
And all he had to do was give us a little notice and made sure the gates were open for him. So he's just asking for permission. What's the council's pleasure? He does a very nice job and does take care of everything back there.
I'll make a motion that we let Mr. Dickerson continue as an issue.
Second.
Further discussion?
Yeah, I recommend that somebody give him a key to the gate while he's doing this, so it doesn't interfere with any sewer operations.
No, we're not getting a key out, but he's there. Our guy's gonna be there.
I'm just letting you know.
Is that back gate locked too?
Yes.
So you'll have to have somebody open both gates?
Yep.
Okay. That's what you've done before, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Always in the past, yeah.
Alright.
Okay, I've got one more thing under new business.
Is that discussion about that over?
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah.
Strong,
Oh, yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Rankin.
Yes.
Fisher. Yes. Dickerson,
Yes.
Amson.
Yes.
She's got something else.
Okay, about a month ago, we had some of our documents from the document room removed, and, council member took them to the residence. I would like to ask that those village records all be returned to the office where we can store
Probably a
them.
month ago.
Yeah, did you brought them back?
I gave them to Janelle.
Oh, you have them all then?
I don't know what ones you took, but you did bring a box back, yes.
It was just one box.
Yeah.
Oh, you only took one box from there?
That's all it was,
Oh,
that I know of.
okay.
You had by text, I think you have a list of what was on that box.
I thought we had more than one box back there, but.
All of our records are gone out of there.
We
Well, I
have,
think.
But he sent me
You got
he sent me a letter that, or
Did you
a
get it from
text,
Janelle?
there's on the desk, something's on the desk, is that what it is?
What?
That box, what he's talking about on the,
There,
by where
there,
my old spot was.
yes, yep, all the red folder binders.
Alright, next we got a letter from Point Blue, Farmer Supply Company. On behalf of our client, Fleming Brothers Oil Company, attaching notice to local unit of government of land use restrictions for the former Farmer Supply Company located on 388. Corrective action plan was implemented and addressed for the site. For leaks in the underground storage tank, this form and attachments that provide the local unit of government notice to the land use restrictions. Basically, it's not perfect out there. I don't think this pertains to us, it's probably more the township.
It's out of the village limits, it would be
So,
township.
I will pass this on to
for the township.
the township after. We got a proof of mailing. It was sent to us and our attorney. Talked to him the other day, he's taking care of that in our lawsuit about the sewer hookup, so that's being addressed by him.
Quick clarification, it's not actually a lawsuit. Nobody's suing anybody. It's a claim of appeals. So the appeal that was done with the council board is just being escalated to the next higher court. So, procedural. So nobody's suing anybody. Just a clarification.
Alright, I got an email from Gail. I've been, talked to her a little bit here and there to see how things are going. She just said the council needs a copy of the Parks Commission bylaws to vote on next month. Both the village and the township should vote on the bylaws, not just them. They are not, or should not be a separate entity. They still answer to the village who owns the property. What's the council's pleasure on this?
Who's that from?
Gail, she talks, I said, send me something I can read. If the park does have Parks Commission does have their own bylaws, being two entities fund it, we probably should have some say over it, but that's up to you guys. It's up to your pleasure. How would you like to handle it?
What is it that they want now?
She wants a
The
copy
Parks
of the
Commission bylaws.
What, Adler?
No,
Aren't there
So that
bylaws
we
for the
have-
parks and rec?
So we can
Yeah,
say,
we have bylaws.
but they've changed. We need a copy of
Oh, have you changed them in the last
5 years.
No, we haven't.
Oh, okay, so they're the same as the old set would be, is I
We have
think
no
what they wanna
bylaws.
know, okay.
No, because now they can vote to remove their own members.
What's that?
You can vote to remove your own members, is that on there?
To do
Can
what?
you vote to remove members? I thought
Do
last year,
Parks then, right?
yeah, can you do
No,
that?
we
I
can't
thought
vote
there
to
was
remove
something that
members.
you changed, that got
There's,
changed
you know,
on there.
members are appointed by the three,
Entities.
you know,
Yeah.
the school and township and the village.
Okay.
Which
just get-
they can do whatever they want, as far as what the bylaw says, as far as, what can the parks remove members?
Yeah, I think that's
Can
Can
what
we
you're
just get
asking.
the latest copy of them for our next meeting?
yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, I don't have it with me.
Oh, no, the next meeting's fine. I sat down, talked to Melissa the other day, Saturday. There's a training, would be good, it's specifically for treasurers in the state of Michigan. I happen to know an accountant for the county of Kalamazoo is currently taking all 3 sessions from Plant Moran. It's probably about $300, an 8-hour day in Lansing, for just her part. It specifically deals with treasurers,
Is that the one in October?
yes.
It's like 3-day. Is that the 3-day one?
No, it's one, each one's,
There's
each
another
one's,
one,
oh, is there?
the MTA, but
Yeah, Plant Moran's doing all this, and a lot of good information. This was off the first session, Michigan Government Finance Officers Association, Back to Basics. Fundamental elements of government accounting, giving a recap on what happens for the treasurer one, very specific to townships, villages, cities, all the way up to
When
county.
is this?
This one's already over, the one for treasurers, I believe, is in October.
Okay.
And this is something you would like to attend?
Doesn't, MML do the same thing? They offer classes for both clerks and treasurers, which would be more specific to general village law.
We can look into that too, but every county in the state of Michigan is sending their people to these.
I don't know what their cost is, it might be free with MML.
We'll check into it, and when I gotta call them about some other things, and I'll ask them.
Or maybe that's something you'd like to go to both of them and see what you can. Yeah. be
But
really good.
I see more being better than less.
I know they offer classes for clerks, classes for, treasurers, and for trustees.
Yep. They're offered all the time.
Yeah.
Probably
So,
good to get more of them.
more training, the better.
And
That's all we can
certainly
help
the
with.
trainings that I've seen through the state have had highly effective information.
Oh, yes, just reading that, and I'm no accountant.
I make a motion to send her.
I'll second,
Well, it's not till October, so,
yeah.
Well, and we'll have better,
yeah, I can plan for it.
Yeah, there you
cost,
She can
and we'll
sign
get it
up.
all,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll-
get something so we make sure there's no cover.
Is there a deadline for signing up?
I'm gonna find out this week, I think there's 2 more months left.
Yeah,
I mean, you wanna do a motion in case there's a deadline
Yes,
that would
let's do that.
precede your next
Yeah.
meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, you get 2 motions on the table.
Oh, do we, well.
Same thing, doesn't matter.
All right, roll call.
Strong,
yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Rankin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yeah.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Next up, I was asked if we were interested in doing having the Pacer rating study done for all of our roads again. I finally got today, cost estimate for the county to do it, be $371.79. I don't think we even did it last year, so it's been a couple of years.
What was this?
The Pacer rating, they rate all of our roads.
Oh,
Probably do anything with it.
No,
To rate the road, no, but it would, be a documentation.
I think we
Our
did it
road-
once.
We've done it 3-4
Yeah,
times.
no, when I
I would
was
say-
saying,
The only benefit you get out of it is a possibility of the county giving you a little more money.
on that we.
But that, basically, that's settled between that meeting you have when they know how much money they got and how they split it up. That's all that,
Well, and it tells us, if our roads are 1 or 2 or 3, we don't wanna spend, like Rummer, we don't wanna spend money on it, we ground it up versus trying to patch it or chip seal it or do anything else.
so don't you have that situation already, that you know what the road's condition is?
Yep, but I'm not a certified road engineer, I'm not gonna claim to know it all.
How much is
Last
that?
time I did it with them, it was just a matter of them riding around in a car and whose opinion it was on what the status was. And they were GPSing it. And I don't really think there's any benefit, because I think you pretty much know what the status is of our roads anyway.
unless there's been major upgrades and changes.
Well, I'm curious to see what they think of Kalamazoo Street that it's done, I wanna see I'd be interested in seeing what the west end comes out at, 'cause if they come back with 5 or 6, then I know there's problems. If it came back a low score,
Is there something wrong with the west end?
no,
I gotta say, 'cause it was all done at the same time.
and you're part.
What, wait a minute.
That end and this end.
Oh, you're talking east-west, I'm sorry.
So 371.79. What's the council's pleasure?
I don't think that's that bad to pay for a study, that's not a horrible price.
No.
If you think it was beneficial, I'd say yes.
I make a motion to, accept the $371.79.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? I'll get this signed and back to them.
You'll go around.
No, $371.79.
We're getting it now?
Well, we
might find out where the bad parts of our roads really are.
well, you know, and then if we're working with them and they're the ones dishing out the money, it might.
Has this ever been done before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Tom
been a
said
few
he did it,
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Strong,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Rankin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yeah.
Emerson.
Yes.
Next up, communication from our cleaning lady, Macy Elzinga. Starting the week of 4/7, I'll be deep cleaning the bathrooms, kitchen, library, conference room, and entryways on Tuesdays. Then I'll be deep cleaning township office, village office, bathrooms, and entryways on Thursdays. Emptying all trashes both days, eliminate your time cleaning up during open hours. She does this at the Madawan Library and has worked out very well. Any questions, we can contact her.
This is the same gal.
This is the same gal.
Is it working out better? Do we know? I mean, I don't know.
We've been running an ad for bids. We haven't seen anything back yet, so I do believe it's in the paper this week,
So, on behalf of the township,
but not active.
yeah, we decided to pull the ad after this next week. So, we're hoping to find someone local if possible, but at this point, we haven't had any bids.
Police and Vanderbrink sent me some stuff, I printed off, this is on my office, there's two different, there's a water grant, either storm or wastewater improvements, there's a grant, I'm gonna be meeting with them. And also there's a road one that you found that we qualify for, a street one, so we're gonna get together and talk about both of those in the next couple weeks, probably, hopefully next week.
This was
Yeah.
written, okay.
Yep. Whenever they seem to write one of those, it goes pretty well.
Yeah.
Grant money.
Yeah, for roads and sewer.
Oh, school, got a call from, it must be one of their engineering firms. They're gonna be doing some work on Willow Spring by the old, I believe it said the old bus garage. They wanna know where the sewer lines are, they're calling this dig out, so gotta get Kurt, get the map and go down there and gotta call to set up a meeting with them to show them where the stormwater line, the storm sewer line and the wastewater line is. Somebody told them the county drain goes under there. I think that goes out the back, I don't believe it goes under their building. But they're doing, turn all the parking lots, and it's a lot of construction going on up there. Or will be when school's out, I believe. So I gotta get with him the next week.
Sounds like we're not gonna leave town.
It's gonna be a busy summer,
Time getting out.
very busy summer around here. Which don't feel bad, half of downtown Allegan shut down for construction again, so.
Again?
On the parking lot by the Ergo store and the one by the movie theater back to Pizza Hut, that's all.
Oh, they're actually done, okay,
And it
that makes sense.
should have been done by now, because they went and ground up, but they decided to replace all the storm sewer under the movie theater parking lot.
Just there yesterday, so.
It's, parking's at a premium. I would not suggest trying to find a parking spot during lunchtime.
For helicopters.
I do love that roundabout though.
I think it makes it a lot nicer over there. Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry for public comment. Last month, we were given a letter from Kim Otten about, and we forgot to vote on it. So, can we do that tonight, permission to, for October
Dear Village
Fest?
President, Village Council, we are requesting permission to hold our annual Bloomingdale Oktoberfest 2025 on September 19th and September 20th in the Augustus Haven Park, downtown Bloomingdale. Also, we'd like to request to have 2 blocks of Spring Street and and one block of Oak Street closed on Saturday, September 19th and Sunday the 20th. Your consideration for this event, to approve this event would be appreciated. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Can I still
second.
get in my driveway?
No,
So where do I park?
wherever you want, wherever you
Just
can
get
find,
there early.
Wherever I can find, okay.
You can park down at my house and walk.
That's quite a little light.
That's a hike, man.
Ask the guy, the Douglas guy that owns the bank if he can't park there.
Sneak in the backside of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can do that, okay.
In the past, they have made the north side of that Spring Street left open.
Accessible, yeah.
For home guys. And
So that good, so they could transit up all the way into the
They'll move barriers.
You just won't be able to park on it.
I helped them last year, we moved barriers for people that needed to get through.
That's what I was thinking.
They had that big car show,
Yeah, we have that big car show.
which was pretty good size for Bloomingdale, and it's actually probably gonna be double the size this year. They actually wanted to go all the way down to the post office driveway, but they didn't have to, cause there was a big show at Gilmore Car Museum, so half the cars didn't come.
Yeah.
But it was still,
You can't block the
That's still
funeral
not-
home anyway.
No.
no, well, as long as there's not a funeral,
Or the
that
post
we can.
office.
But-
You never know.
Well, we'll know closer to time.
Quick planning years.
So,
Ready to go.
Not that one, ready.
Who was the motion? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I made the motion.
Oh, Barb, and then I seconded it.
Wait, should,
And,
There's still
Strawn,
a vote.
yes.
Crawford,
yes.
Rankin,
Yep.
Fisher,
Yeah.
Dickerson, Emerson.
Give it a
Yep.
good move. You wanna give it a good
Now
move?
it's your turn.
Now,
Now it's your turn, Dad.
So I'm just formally asking, just for the record, if it's okay with the council, if I again do the garden area over in the, and so forth and so on.
And I will
And
make
with that,
the
then the
motion.
second question or second part of that is if it's okay again to buy bricks to finish out, the paving stones along the gazebo walk.
Do you have
Because I didn't quite
an
finish it
idea about
last
how
year.
much you would need to do that? Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Do you have an idea of how much that might be?
$2,000.
We're gonna pay a lot.
For the
right?
bricks?
Yeah.
Probably equivalent to what I did when I did the memorial last
Yeah.
year, so that was roughly 100, I think, 100.
Say, set it at 250.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we let you have up to 250 to finish that over there.
Okay. And then if, depending,
Yes.
if I have enough, depending on time and energy, then I'll go around the gazebo base, which was one of Roy's requests at one point, if possible.
Okay.
But that might not be this year, we'll see.
If you need more, just hit me up,
And then
I'll buy you
he,
some bricks.
yeah, he will have the water whenever you need it, just let me know when you want it down there.
If
and
you
I'll get it
need
down there.
either of them, their services, tractor help for the park, you let me know, and
Usually I'm doing it at odd times that they're not here, so that's okay. And then I poke along at it, so it's easier that way.
if there's something you need, don't hesitate to
Roy,
reach out.
Roy keeps that water down there pretty well,
He
the other
does.
two, he watches that. and
Yeah.
puts it down there.
He's very good about that.
I had a
Okay,
first
thank you.
motion, I need a second.
I'll second.
Strong,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Rankin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Hi everyone, I'm Emily with the Bay Area Conservation District. It sounds like it's a good thing I made it now because it might be hard to find my way here in a few months. But I'll definitely be back for some of this. So just wanted to share a couple things that are going on. We just wrapped up our reforestation, our tree sale. So we got about over 15,000 seedlings out in Van Buren County and slightly surrounding areas. Native species to help reforest the area and just get some good habitat out there. So we're excited about that. Also, fresh off the presses is this year's Food, Farm, and Fun Guide. So there are lots of local businesses that advertised in here. We also compiled as many parks and trails and waterways that we could find in the county. And so this is just free guide that will be floating around the county. I brought just a few copies to drop off here. Blanked and didn't bring the townships. I always forget that it's in the same building, and so I have them there all the time. So we have those, but they're also at those advertisers. So there's even a couple around here, the Blooming Acres and Dancing Feathers. Tyler's Farms, or a couple Bloomingdale farms that advertised this year, so those are around. It's just to help get folks, supporting local business and finding all those fun gems that we have in our own backyard. In addition, we are hiring our seasonal invasive species team, so they will be starting in May, and they're largely gonna be doing water surveys. We serve Van Buren, Berrien, and Cass with that team, so we're on the lookout for invasive species. We found the first occurrence of hydrilla, which is a water plant, in Berrien County 2 years ago, and so we were able to get a grant from the state to keep surveying. So the St. Joe River, and then a lot of creeks that come off of that. Many consider it the worst invasive species in the world. So we're glad that our team was trained well enough to spot it, and that has been treated. The state has been doing the chemical treatment of that, so that finding has been taken care of, and we're just continuing to look to make sure it hasn't gotten anywhere else, because that getting into the Great Lakes would be bad news. And then we switch gears midway through the summer, and you'll kind of see us more up around this way. We start looking more in the drains and along the roadsides, looking for Japanese knotweed and Phragmites, and treating that as well. We just wrapped up our surveys of that. We do the surveys along the roadways in the winter, and then we do treatment in the summer when it's the best time to treat those species. So quite a lot kicking off. We're also gonna start up our recycling collections in May. The first one is May 22nd. That first recycle roundup is Saturday, June 7th in Pawpaw. So that's the big one where you can bring chemicals, paint, light bulbs, batteries, tires, electronics. We're really excited that we have year-round tire options now at a few transfer stations. We have year-round electronics. But that big event is really kind of nice if you just want to pack it all up at once and take it all together.
What was the date?
June 7th.
June 7th.
Yeah, and that's the Pawpaw one. All three, so there's one in August in South Haven, and then one in October in Lawrence. All three are open and at no direct cost to anybody who lives in Van Buren County or owns property in Van Buren County. So we just ask that you help us spread the word about that. It's a great opportunity to keep stuff out of our water, out of our trash, and going different places that it might be better taken care of.
And this is all on the website as well,
Yes,
correct? Okay.
yep, yeah, all on our website, and you can sign up on the website for our monthly newsletters, if that's handy, if you like getting those email tidbits. And every few years also, we do it's got a long name because it's state law, but conservation needs assessment. It's just a survey, so quick survey, about 10 minutes we tried to keep it, and we just ask that as many folks as possible fill this out before the end of May. It helps us know exactly what our community wants us working on. So we're committed to our land and our water and our air and conservation generally, but the best thing about being the conservation district is we get to do what's locally important. We're not the state, we're not the feds, we get money from them to do what matters here. So we would love to hear from you all and anyone that you talk to, what it is they think the needs are in Van Buren County. Try to keep it to 10 minutes. It's on our website. There's a QR code, so I'll leave this too. And it's been in our monthly reports, which I saw you got hanging up, so I appreciate that. But that's kind of what's going on right now. Feel free to reach out anytime. We try to rotate through all 29 municipalities. Yeah.
On 388 going into South Haven, on the south side, there's a new construction done there by the river.
Right here.
Looks like for,
Yeah, like down the Black River.
Yeah.
Yes.
is that part of the conservation district or is that private?
Indirectly. So that is the
Kayak launch?
kayak launch. It'll be open to the public, as far as I understand. So it's on a preserve. We don't own that. I also sit on the county's Parks and Rec committee, and so that's just how I'm aware of it. But they got a grant. They were working with the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission. Got a grant, so they're working on that. And in Hartford, there's another kayak launch going in on the Pawpaw River. It'll be fully handicap accessible. It'll connect another stretch of the Pawpaw River that's pretty traversable. So, and then folks can get out in water Belite if they want another handicap accessible, like off point. So. Yeah,
So-
couple are going in the next couple of years.
So that's basically a private company that will supply the kayaks and that?
Folks bring their own, yep, you bring your own kayak, yeah.
You going for kayak next time?
Tubing.
Thank you all.
We have a kayak here.
I just wanna clarify, May 10th is our free dump day, the village dump day.
Facebook does.
Somebody said it's canceled,
They're right in the past.
so we aren't getting any more township passes.
They're gonna honor the ones that are already given
I
out.
never went and got mine done.
Anybody else?
We're working on.
Oh, I forgot to say that we have two excellent
That's
village
in
employees.
afternoon, but.
And I am so thankful for both of them. I've watched them clean up the sides of the roads and stuff, and it's been so fast and so nice. And I just think they need to be appreciated a little bit.
That's Roy's first thing he does after
Yeah.
checks every Monday is all four corners, and then going around picking sticks up.
Yeah,
He was picking up behind the parking lot on the trail, he was cleaning everything.
yeah,
It's really nice
they're
to
great.
see them at
Yes,
work
it
because
is.
they're both very dedicated to their jobs.
It was interesting to us when the race was being held, that they were using, the main parking lot and all the parking areas along the stores and
This
such,
last weekend,
Mm-hmm.
rather than,
did they ask any permission for parking or anything?
I don't
Because they had all the parking lots here completely filled with their cars. None of them were over there in the, official parking
You know, we
area.
tell them that every year, and every year they go right back.
Well, did they
Yeah.
even approach the council?
If it's
or
not
did-
on the calendar, nobody knew it.
But that is all, it is all public parking.
state, and there's more public,
Yeah,
it
but-
is public
They
parking.
had, yeah, but they had every spot
Yeah,
not
but I
every
mean, they
the
do
store
have
covered.
Yeah.
for all that stuff, and they never park in that parking. And every year we try and explain to
Yeah.
them that that's all been designated down there for all that trail stuff. And yet then, you know, they do take up all the spaces in town.
Going west, the reason we noticed it is we went Saturday morning to South Haven. And every place the trail across the road, they had 2-3 cars. Almost every spot.
So at this point, in past years, the council was concerned about getting people to park over in the official parking lots for the trail rather than the general one. It sounds like that's not as much of a concern right now.
I heard, we talked about a race a few months ago, and then
I mean, I don't think we got it.
Nobody-
If
I
we
mean,
didn't
there was
have an
some
official
parking.
notification, and we've had those in
Nobody-
past years, but I don't know that we knew it.
Yeah, it was just interesting to
Yeah.
see.
Need a big sign, official
Yeah.
parking,
'Cause it
Race
takes away-
parking that way.
that
Yeah,
way.
They should have a sign.
Trail
Well,
parking.
somebody in your organization should have contacted the council and asked that.
They have in past years, I don't know.
Not this year.
No,
not a letter, not a phone call.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the telephone parking lot was full, I mean.
well, and two, it makes it real dangerous down on this main four corners when they're, you know, all over the road and stuff too. It's nice if you have a police officer there some of the time.
I don't know where they started, but man, they were cutting across the.
It was
Well, they were,
bad
yeah, they were
one
They
time.
weren't
running,
stopping
they
for
weren't
traffic
going,
either.
oh, they stopped for me.
No.
They walked, they ran across, and then when I was pulling up, nobody, they were running across the road to the pizza place, and then across, they weren't going diagonal.
They've had other years, they've just had steady streams of bikes going right across the road,
This
no
was
regard.
This was strictly running though.
All
This
the
wasn't
runners,
running
all
like-
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kurt?
Oh, go ahead, Matt. I'll go ahead. I just forgot to mention earlier, I think it was a couple meetings ago, Gail had mentioned there was an issue with applying for certain grants because of the lack of a village website. So actually, a couple weeks ago, Neighbors for Public Oversight, myself and a couple other people with some marketing and web experience, we started constructing a website for the village, along with a little logo package, since there's not like an official logo for the village yet.
There
Oh,
is- we
if
have
you-
an official
If you
logo.
have one, well then that, we can ignore the logo package, but we wanted to help supply something to you guys, gift, website, plus, we've already secured like a year of hosting, and we'd be happy to do a number of edits and, even some training on how to run it. And then just hand that over to you guys to be able to host yourselves.
So you would be changing the administration over to the village?
Yeah, to where they could then host it yourselves, you'd set up your own billing to take over after the year if you wanna do it. I think for us, it only cost us like $40 for the first year for all the hosting, and we got you guys a domain too. But I'm hoping to have something present within a month's time, or like by the next meeting, and you guys can decide if you wanna use it or not. But just to help you guys get some more grants, and it'll also be a good public facing utility
When did it-
for the people.
I'm just curious about, anytime that somebody's done something for somebody else, wouldn't it have been effective to do it jointly? In the
Oh,
conversation
absolutely.
first, I mean?
Well, absolutely, but, and we're open to any input you guys might have, but we also understand that you guys are pretty much at your capacity right now from what it sounds like. So if there's any involvement, I think you have my contact information. If there's anything that you'd like to support, and that's why we're gonna supply a number of edits along with the website as well. We're not just gonna, hey, you have to use this, you know? But, this was my career for a number of years. I'm familiar with, going back through and doing a number of edits with you guys, so. But if there's interest, provide that for you guys.
A couple different things. I'm Matt Ashbrook, the township supervisor, so I got a few different things on my mind. Number one, I think you guys made the correct decision for the Pacer rating for the roads. It just takes the emotion out of it, because I know, we know what these roads are, but when people come and say, why didn't you do my road? It just takes that emotion out of it. We say, we had somebody look at it, they gave us this, even if you know which ones are the bad ones. Yeah. So I think that's a benefit there. Another thing is the treasurer's meeting you guys just voted on for sending her to the meeting. I know that the township would benefit from that also, so I don't know if you guys are wanting to partner with this or what you're wanting to do there. Also, I didn't know if you're paying for travel and stay, or if you're just paying for just the meeting. So I think that's something that between us we can talk about and figure out better moving forward.
Well, I was going to suggest Janelle is my new township deputy. If she would also like to go, maybe the township can pay for one and the village can pay for the other, but that's up to her.
So,
She'll have
just,
lunch.
yeah, just something to think about, because there is a cost to go to Lansing, and so that we kind of make sure we're having that covered, because we do want continued education. Learning is very important in these jobs, so just something that we'd like to partner with you guys on. We would need a vote, but I would like to suggest that. Also, transfer station, we did make a motion at the last meeting to discontinue dump passes. The ones that are out there, we will still honor. And if one is given by the police officer for a blight issue, then we will honor those ones, but that has to come with a signature. We are looking at trying to update our system and trying to figure out how we can actually charge correctly, and making sure the process is more streamlined. It is a very large cost to the township. It's a benefit. We realize that it's never gonna make money, but it is a very large cost at this point. So we're just trying to look at other processes. Along with that, we do need to hire another person to be down there. So if you know of somebody that is interested in the position, I'd love to have a meeting with them. We are gonna discontinue it in the paper, but if you know somebody that would like to work Saturdays and possibly Tuesdays, we're looking for someone. Also, along with that, the cleaning bids, we mentioned that earlier. If you know somebody that is interested in cleaning the building, we are still looking for someone in bids. So don't hesitate to reach out. That is a shared expense. So it would be the library, the village, and the township, so it would have to be approved by all. But I believe that if we found the right person, that it may be a good move moving forward. So we do currently have somebody. They are doing the cleaning, but we are just looking for more bids to be able to make the correct decision. So that's it. Thank you.
Matt and I have been talking about ways to better cover the shared costs. The way, you know, we bill them to smash the trash or the plowing, cleaning, everything we do, electric, gas. So we're working that out too, so there's less bills going back and forth. We're trying to figure something out to streamline and make it easier for both of us. That's fair and equitable for both parties.
For the cleaning, are we wanting to stay with a single individual, or do we want a commercial?
We're open to anybody at this point.
I know the last person brought two people, sometimes three.
There's a place out south you can go Coastal Clean, they've been phenomenal for our church, really good.
Anything else? If not, a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Support.
Actually, wait a minute.
Hey, Justin, before you go, can I see that note from Jill on my place, she was talking about.
Just whatever the, I'll give you the most recent, copy of the most recent, file the most.
I'm Chris.